You're probably thinking that this video is another one of those clickbaity videos where somebody says, hey, I made all this money. Well, it's not, because I actually did make $3,629 using System.io. I'm going to be breaking down the 4 key components that most people miss when they're trying to make money with System.io and how implementing them correctly allowed me to generate more in the last 30 days. And it's totally achievable for people like you and me. Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Jo and I help creators with digital products, passive income, and tech. And I really did make $3,629 with System.io. And I made it in 1 month because of this one simple strategy change. And that change was, instead of selling lots of digital products, I focused on selling one really great digital product. Now, if you're anything like me, this sounds really contradictory because you're like, well, hey, what if I sold heaps of digital products? Wouldn't I actually make more money? Well, from my experience so far, that's not necessarily true. I'm not saying that it can't work, but for me, it just wasn't right. Okay, so let's get right into my 4 key components. The first is the math. Okay, so let's be real. Everybody gets into selling digital products because they want to make a little bit of extra money. It's a side hustle. You want to replace your full-time job. You want to work from home from the couch. But the one thing that people always forget to do is to work out the maths and to really write it down and not just work out how much money you're going to make, but how you want to make it. So when I first started selling digital products, I was selling them for like a really low price, like $7. And I had quite a few of them. And I kept thinking, well, I don't know if this is going to work. I kept doubting myself. I thought my products were kind of average. I just really wasn't sure. And that mindset really just wasn't great for actually growing the business. Now, fast forward a few months from then, I realized that that doubt and that fear of actually trying to put myself out there and put my products out there was actually really holding me back. So what I needed to do was a maths reshuffle. So this is what my math looked like on paper. I wanted to make $1,000 per month, and I had 3 digital products that were selling at $7 each. And I was selling on 3 different funnels. So I worked out that I needed to sell about 47 units every month to be able to reach my $1,000 per month. And at the time, I wasn't focusing very much on getting traffic. I was just creating digital products and putting them on lots of different funnels and thinking the more that I build, the more income I will generate. Now, when I saw this written down, the maths, I was thinking, well, why aren't my digital products selling? I definitely need to create more, or my digital products are really terrible. Like, what is going on? But to be honest, my digital products weren't terrible. I didn't need to create more digital products. I really just needed to look at that math and rejig everything. Now, I did ultimately make sales while I was learning and doing this process. So I'm not saying that you can't, but it just was a little bit inconsistent and it wasn't up to par with what I was expecting to make. So I thought to myself, what can I do? Well, instead of having all of these different funnels and all of these different products and having them at really low prices, I needed to redo the math. So I still wanted to make my $1,000 extra per month, so I kept that there. And instead I thought, why do I have all of these digital products that are separate? They could literally be combined into one mega digital product, and I could also charge a bit of more of a premium price because the content that's in these digital products is really, really good and really helpful. But being at $7 and being on all these different funnels is not, because I'm not really getting to people. So I also changed my pricing to a different structure. I decided to go with a $57 per month and do a membership. And also I had a $347 one-off fee. And I also changed it to one funnel. So then instead of having to sell 47 units, I ended up only needing to sell 17 monthlies or 3 yearlies. And this math just seemed to work out and just make sense to me in my head, which also led me to my next step, which was effort versus reward versus quality. Okay, so now that the math is mathing and all of that is making sense, I was like, okay, how much work now is involved with this different mathing? Because when I was selling on multiple different funnels and I had multiple different products, you have to drive traffic to each of those different funnels separately. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's not something that doesn't work, but the thing is, if you have one funnel and you spend all of your time putting all of your traffic to it, then you're not going to be diluting any of your efforts. Everything is going to be focused on one funnel, and that means that you can also improve the quality of your funnel. And that's exactly what I did. I kept driving traffic to this one funnel. I kept improving it. And the stats were really easy to read because when you have one funnel, it makes it less complicated for you and you don't have to worry about trying to manage 3 different things, especially when you're starting. Now, I use YouTube as my main source of driving traffic to my funnels because I find it so much easier to connect with people and just to be able to talk directly into the camera like this rather than just do short form content. Now, my goal is to make 4 videos a month and make them really, really good. And to me, that sounds a lot nicer than having to make 30 different short form content videos. So the work versus the effort versus the reward is getting to be a lot better for me. So now that my math was mathing and the effort versus reward versus quality was in my mind, I now could spend time on driving traffic, making my funnel better, reading my stats, and then also making my digital product heaps better. So I wasn't creating all these random digital products. I could just improve on my digital product based on feedback that people have given me. Okay, but what tools did I use and what type of social media did I create? Okay, so this is System.io. If you have not heard about it by now on my channel, then I don't know where you've been because this is the only tool that I use to run my entire business. So you can do email marketing, you can build funnels. There is just so much you can do. So this is the tool that I use and I would highly recommend that you grab yourself a free account. You can get that from the description below of my video. Now I'll show you, I actually ended up building a whole website with System.io because you can also do that as well. And one of my funnels that I will show you is the Digital Product Academy. So this is the funnel that I was driving everybody to because this was all of the stuff that I'd ever learned about digital products and I put it inside my course. So that was the one funnel that I did. And then you can see here is my social media. So the type of social media that I started creating was stuff that my subscribers really wanted to know. So the thing about when you do social media is that some of it is testing to see if people like that type of content and if you should create some more of it. And then once you've found stuff that people actually like, you just create more of that stuff. So for example, I tested out this one here and I did how to easily sell ugly digital products with Canva. Probably not a great title as you can see by the views. But then over here, I'm talking about the best digital product side hustle to start for free and make $3,000 a month, which is basically starting with System.io and selling digital products. And so I got better view rates. So you can see that by creating the right type of content and directing it to one funnel, that's how you can start reaching your goals. Now, if you want to get started with YouTube and you're just like, Joe, I have no idea what I'm doing, grab my one-day marketing plan, which is the YouTube edition, because this is the steps that I took when I very, very first started. And that video there was one of the first videos that really went crazy. I think it's got like 50K views on it now. But everything that's in this PDF is exactly what I did to start learning, and I've shared it in here. So now with my one product, my one funnel, and my one platform that I've chosen for my social media to drive traffic, I just went through the process and I perfected it and I changed. And I just basically went through and changed things that weren't working and stuck with things that were working. And that's really what digital marketing is about and selling digital products. It's about testing and refining and changing and making things work. Now, when I'm talking about looking at the results and making changes, like what am I exactly talking about? Well, there are a few different areas that you need to focus on. The first thing that you want to make sure that you have done, and this is before looking any stats or changing anything, is you want to make sure that you have validated your digital product idea with real data from real people, okay? Now that could be like a survey, anything like that where you've validated that they actually want it. The second thing is that you want to be recording your funnel statistics, okay? There's no point in just going at the end of the month and feeling really sad and disappointed if you've made no sales. Figure out why. What do your funnel statistics say? Do they say that you've had no traffic to your digital product funnel? That means you need to get traffic. So you really need to look at those numbers. And the third thing is when you post a piece of content, what happens? Are people commenting? Are they sharing? Are you getting lots of views? Are you getting sales? You need to be recording what is working. For example, when I do my YouTube, I have a look at the click-through rates, I have a look at how long people watch the videos for, and I just basically have a look at the past month and I go, what titles were working, what content was great, and then I can figure out what to do next. Okay, so let's wrap this up. It is totally possible for you to reach your income goals and whatever you've set for yourself, because everything in this video I have done myself, and there's no reason why you can't do it as well. So you can take all of the information in this video or just take one piece of information and use it and try it. If you want to get access to all my tools, my resources, my step-by-step on how I do digital products and how I make passive income with them, then you can grab that inside the Digital Product Academy, and the link should be in the description of the video. So now you know exactly what I did and changes that I made to make $3,629 in 1 month with System.io. You're probably wondering what's next. Well, it's time to power up even further, and you can do that by sticking around and watching this next video. Because when you combine this video right here with this next video, then you're going to level up even further.